David here with Figboot on Pens. Today I have for you a pen from Visconti, and that pen is the Visconti Rembrandt. What I'm going to do is go over the parts and the features of the Rembrandt, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. And stay tuned to learn how you can win this very pen courtesy of Gold Spot Pens, who have provided this pen for review and to give away. Rembrandt Harmenszoon van Rijn, if I'm pronouncing that correct, was a Dutch painter and printmaker and draftsman who lived in the early to mid 1600s. He is considered to be one of the Dutch masters. And what really set him apart from most of his peers was the variety of his work. He would do portraits and landscapes and genre and historical scenes, as well as things like animal studies and even religious works. The man really did it all. One of my favorite pieces of his art hangs in the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. I've talked about the Getty before in relation to Van Gogh's painting Irises, which is housed there as well, but the painting I like of his is called An Old Man in Military Costume. It looks incredibly lifelike. When you stand up close, you could really see the moisture in the subject's eyes. If you could touch the painting, you would almost expect it to be wet. It's visually stunning. The pen arrives in this box, and inside is one of the more simplistic boxes that Visconti puts out. The case flips open, and inside we have some warranty information and a single standard international cartridge, which is black, I believe, and then we have the pen. This is the Visconti Rembrandt. This pen is available in several colors, but this particular model is called Twilight. The pen is made from resin, and the base color of the resin is black, and then it has some reds and purples and even grays swirled in to create a nice effect. It's not too overdone. Let's start by taking a look at the end of the cap. On the end is a metal insert that says Visconti and Made in Italy. This particular insert, for me, it's like 10% out of alignment in relation to the clip or the metal piece on the opposite side of the clip. So I don't believe this particular pen uses the Visconti My Pen system where you can change out the insert or even rotate it a little bit because it's held in by a strong magnet. So in this pen, I believe your alignment is what you get. Then we have the standard Visconti Clip. I like the Visconti Clip. On both sides is printed Visconti, basically in negative space. Now, you operate a Visconti clip a little bit different than most other clips. In order to use it, you simply hold the clip in the middle and then you just pinch. And the act of pinching actually opens up the clip. And you need to do that if you're going to pocket the pen because whatever material you're trying to slip it into will not get under that clip without pinching it open. The cap angles up very slightly. It's only about 0.5 millimeter thicker from here to here at the end of the cap. At the end of the cap, there is a band with a knurled design around it, and on it, it says Visconti on one side and Made in Italy on the other. It is a bit odd, especially for Visconti, not to have the name of the pen on the band or anywhere else on the pen. There are a few exceptions, but as far as their pens in this price range, they typically do put the name on there. There is an angled step down to the barrel, which is straight, and then it tapers off sharply at the end, and at the very end is a rounded silver color metal piece. Now, the cap is magnetic, so I won't necessarily say it snaps off. It's more of a click. Now, Visconti does have a couple of pens with magnetic caps like that. Mainly the Van Gogh is another one of them. You want to be careful with these magnets. You want to make sure that you try to keep them as dry as possible and try to minimize the moisture inside the cap. So if your pen's going to be sitting around unused for a long period of time, it's best to clean it out rather than just leave it inked. If it stays a bit moist inside the cap for long periods of time, the magnets have a tendency to rust out a bit. I've experienced that on my Van Gogh, and I've had to have the magnet replaced under warranty. So once you take off the cap, what we have here is a Visconti Calligraphy Nib. I find this nib to be very nice. I don't own one of their stub nibs, which in essence this is, but I do care for this nib a great deal. The next Visconti I pick up with a steel nib will more than likely have this nib, if it's available. You'll see how it performs in the writing sample, but I find it to be a forgiving stub, meaning that it doesn't have a narrow sweet spot. And it's smoother than I would have expected. It's very smooth, especially for a stub. And then here's a look at the plastic feed. Now, the section is a slick metal, and I believe it's a chrome finish as well as the rest of the trim on the pen. Now, while I generally abhor slick metal sections, this one isn't too bad. It begins with a raised band, which for me does a good job of helping me maintain my grip. Since the Rembrandt has a magnetic cap, there are no threads on the section or the barrel. I do find the Rembrandt to be comfortable in the hand. It's plenty long enough to use unposted. If you do like to post your cap, however, I do find that the cap backweights the pen just slightly, throwing off the balance a bit. Not too bad, just a bit. This is a cartridge converter pen. It does take a standard international converter, which is included, as well as, like I showed you before, a single black ink cartridge was included as well. With the section as well as the threads on the inside of the barrel being metal, using this pen as an eyedropper would not be recommended. The Visconti Rembrandt retails for $165 on the Gold Spot Pen site, and I think that's a reasonable price for this pen for what you receive here, which is basically an entry-level Visconti. The acrylic has an interesting pattern. It's well made, and like I said previously, I'm really enjoying this calligraphy nib. So, thanks go out again to Gold Spot Pens for providing this pen for review and for giveaway. If you'd like to check out their pen on their site, I'll put a link in the notes below. If you would care to win this very pen, all you need to do is be a subscriber to my channel. Go ahead and like this video and leave a comment below on YouTube. Today is Saturday, June 16th, and you're going to have an extended period of time to enter this particular contest because I'm going to be on a vacation beginning tomorrow, and where I'm going doesn't really allow any access to any social media like YouTube or Instagram, so I won't be able to pick a winner until I return. So maybe it'll be kind of good to be kind of on radio silence from social media for a while. So it'll kind of be a vacation from that as well. So for those of you who has a tendency to miss out on giveaways, here's your chance. Once I return, I'll randomly choose a commenter to win this very pen. As far as a comment goes, why don't you let me know where one of your favorite vacations has been, or a place that you'd like to go on vacation. Again, the comment topic is not required. It is just a suggestion. So now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. And thanks again go out to Gold Spot for providing this for review and for giveaway. So, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about this ink, as well as a little bit of history on Fred Rogers, then by all means, you want to check out that ink review that I released just a couple days ago. Okay, so here we go with the rest of the writing sample. But as you can see, the Stub Nib does a real good job of providing a little bit of flair to your writing without much effort. You're going to see that the downstrokes are significantly thick and the side strokes are significantly thinner. You're not going to necessarily get a ton of line variation. You could push a little bit out of here, but it's not something that you really do with the stub that much. In regard to ink flow, when you're going up and down, it does have a decent ink flow to it. And you're not really going to do a lot of reverse writing with a stub, but just to see what it does. It works a little, but not too much. And then in regard to some fast writing, I don't have any issues with the flow on this pen whatsoever. This is a rather viscous ink, and then on top of that, the flow on this is rather decent. And that I find that, I mentioned it in the review, but it's a very smooth stub, and then it doesn't have a very narrow sweet spot, so that it can be rather forgiving as you're writing. For a stub, you do need to get it in somewhat of an alignment, but it's one of those things that there's some pens that you need to have it in perfect alignment or it doesn't quite work right, but this one's a little more forgiving. So this is the Visconti Rembrandt. For an entry-level Visconti, I feel it's a decent pen at a decent price. And thanks again go out to Goldspot for providing this for review and for giveaway. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.